when we think about between the lines, we can start with propaganda, public relations, media spin, political spin, any lawyer's letter. Behind those lines, there is a lot of positioning and manipulation very often about what it is we believe about the world. So let me bust a few myths here. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If you don't have a good breakfast, you're setting yourself up for failure. That is technically, apparently not really true. The scientists don't believe this, but it was a really, really good public relations move to convince the whole of America that breakfast was so important that you had to have your Kellogg's cornflakes. If you had your Kellogg's cornflakes, everything else in the day will be better. That's public relations. That's propaganda. I'm drinking water, but we don't need 8 glasses of water a day. That was a myth that was created. And the whole story about spinach. This is really great. Spinach is so important for our health. It makes us strong. It gives us all this energy. Apparently, there was a decimal point typo in some science research originally, which made people believe that spinach has 10 times more iron per leaf than it actually does. So somebody made a mistake, but now we all believe that this is, spinach is really going to make us strong and healthy. Popeye is really interesting. He is Popeye the Sailor Man, toot toot, and he drinks spinach. Apparently, before spinach became the way that Popeye got his strength, he used to rub the feathers of a very lucky white chicken. True story. Apparently, I mean, I say true story, but this is entirely, a cartoon figure. But that is how he used to do it until somebody realized that if they got Popeye to eat spinach, they could sell more spinach. And that is why there is a literal monument to Popeye in Crystal City in Texas since 1937, because he has changed that whole spinach city and allowed them to sell so much more, just because of this story that we have been sold about spinach.
Sure.
There's another story, one that really tugs, about reading between the lines. This is a famous story. It's been credited to Hemingway, but it was around long before. For sale, baby shoes never worn. Between the lines of that story, there is so much more, and we can feel that emotion. We can read between the lines, but we need to do that a little bit more intentionally.